Dale Earnhardt Jr. has confirmed if Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin have a feud brewing. The NASCAR legend dove into something that could become a rivalry for the history books and has spilt the beans on what to expect from this rivalry in the near future. The Cup Series drivers has been hesitant to refer to their feud as a rivalry, but after another incident in Nashville fueled their animosity, Earnhardt Jr. revealed that regardless of what Larson and Hamlin say, he is establishing them as rivals going forward. Do you see them as rivals? Will they be the ones fighting for the championship at the end of the season, or will someone else ruin their party? Hamlin and Larson, there was a debate on Denny's show about it being a rivalry. This debate has been going on for 2 weeks. Last week, Denny said it was not a rivalry. This week, he slipped up and said it was. So, I think it's a rivalry. It's been a rivalry since way back in Pocono when Larson ended up in the fence there. It's been a rivalry, Earnhardt Jr. said. Drivers that are in rivalries aren't the ones to ask about it being a rivalry. It's our choice. It's the public's choice, whether it's a rivalry or not. We decide that. That stuff happens organically, and it's happened. It is happening. Denny and Larson, they are rivals. Even if Larson and Hamlin won't admit it, Earnhardt Jr. feels they're unconsciously battling more than ever, keeping track of who wins week after week. I think Larson said that really well, but anytime they're racing around each other and there's something on the line, if it's in the middle of the stage and they're battling for fifth, they race each other really well. It's these moments which happen quite often because they're both very talented and they're both in great race cars. It's these moments when it boils down to the end of the stage, or there's something on the line and there's a few corners or a few laps to go when one takes advantage of the other, Earnhardt Jr. added. They've both done it, and it's great for us. I hope it continues, especially now, with them talking about it. And they, maybe even unconsciously, start keeping score, and nobody wants to lose a battle. So I think Hamlin and Larson, anytime they can duke it out and get aggressive with each other on the racetrack, and use each other up, and piss each other off, it's a good thing for all of us. Unfortunately, Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin's numerous spats can only be described as a rivalry, which Dale Earnhardt Jr. acknowledges. We'll see when the next chapter in their feud is written, which may happen as soon as this weekend, when NASCAR travels to Chicago for what promises to be an exciting event. Dale Jr. also took the time to talk about some specifics from the drivers as he explained that Denny Hamlin excels on concrete tracks, and Dale Jr. believes he understands why. There might be something that a driver appreciates about the feeling of driving a car on concrete, Earnhardt pointed out, but a lot of times too, it's the team and crew chief, air pressure setup. There's certain ways to get grip, find grip, create grip that you would do at a concrete track that might be a little different than an asphalt track. Junior Motorsports had something magical there at Nashville for a while. Every time we went there, no matter how we ran throughout the rest of the year, we would always run good at Nashville. You find air pressures or combination of things that can set you apart at those racetracks. This year, Hamlin won in Dover and Bristol, both on concrete tracks. And while Earnhardt said that Nashville is a concrete track, Hamlin finished 12th in the race on Sunday. Last year, Hamlin placed 3rd in the Nashville race and won the Bristol Fall race. After the Bristol race earlier this year, Hamlin discussed his racing achievements. "That's what I grew up here doing in the short tracks in the Mid-Atlantic, South Boston, Martinsville," he said. "Once it became a tire management race, I really liked our chances. Obviously, the veteran in Martin Truex Jr., he knew how to do it as well. We just had a great car, great team. The pit crew just did a phenomenal job all day. Can't say enough about them. First-time express oil change on the car. Appreciate all the Mavis folks as well. FedEx, Coca-Cola, the whole group. Man, it feels so good to win in Bristol." Hamlin is poised to win his first Cup Series championship. He has clinched a playoff position and is currently 3rd in the standings behind Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell. However, if you ask Hamlin about his year, he would most certainly mention his missed opportunities to win further races. "Am I crazy to think that I feel like I should have 100 wins? This is effing crazy the ways I've lost races," Hamlin said on the Actions Detrimental podcast this year. "Damn it, it sucks." Earnhardt Jr. also chimed in on what happened during overtime last Sunday, stating that NASCAR is far from ready for new rule changes to the overtime format, despite what occurred in Nashville this weekend. Earnhardt stated that the 5 overtimes at Nashville Superspeedway are quite uncommon in NASCAR. There's been a ton of conversation on social media about the 5 overtime attempts. Is that something we need to have out there as a possibility? Should they change that? Just talking in circles about all of that, Earnhardt said. I think it's a big waste of time. This isn't happening every single week. This is a rare situation where a car spins out with 2 laps to go. The entire field list about every week is pushing themselves on fuel mileage. This caused several issues during restart attempts, such as cars being unable to accelerate and running out of gasoline. That caused a lot of issues in our overtime tries, so it was kind of a perfect storm. I don't think we should respond at all. I don't think anything needs to change. Nothing. Earnhardt went on to criticize Austin Cindric for the 5 extra periods. If there's anything about it that you were upset with, you should blame Austin Cindric, Earnhardt said. Austin Cindric is running a 400-mile race and spun out on the back straightaway with 2 laps to go. A Cup Series regular, one of the best race car drivers, one of the best oval racers in the country, wrecked off of turn 2 with 2 laps to go in a 400-mile race. That's like the UPS guy or the Amazon or FedEx guy. You know, you buy something ships all the way across the country, and the guy throws it at the front porch and breaks it. What in the hell? Austin Cindric, it's on you, buddy. All that stuff that happened at the end was entirely unnecessary. He goes way down the track and spins out to the right. I don't know how you do that. That's what led to all of this. None of this happens if Austin can get off turn 2 like he did for 398 miles. And lastly, Dale Jr. also talked about another feud that was brewing on and around the track in recent year, the Bubba Wallace and Aric Almirola fight. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is not eager to understand the entire extent of the alleged confrontation between Bubba Wallace and Aric Almirola. On the most recent edition of Dale Jr. Download, Earnhardt discussed the incident and why he doesn't need to know what happened. I don't think we'll ever really know, Earnhardt said. I could probably call Denny Hamlin and say give me the scoop and he'd tell me. Out of respect to Bubba and Aric, it's probably best that they be the ones to tell that story if they ever want to. Things must have really gotten heated in that room. If I had to guess, there's probably a dozen people in this competition meeting, so you got a lot of witnesses, a lot of people to see how this all gets started or whatever happens. I would trust their judgment and trust Joe Gibbs Racing's judgment to make the decisions and handle this the way they think they needed to handle it. If it was to suspend Aric and pull him out of the car, then I trust that that's what needed to happen. Earnhardt went on to discuss Almirola and how the alleged confrontation was terrible for him because he was deemed the initiator. I hope that they can get this all worked out and cooler heads can prevail and Aric can enjoy the remainder of the season and then possibly get him some victories before he officially whenever hangs it up entirely, says Earnhardt. I don't know if I need to know what happened in that room. Jordan Bianchi of The Athletic broke the news officially that something did go down. It was a physical altercation between the two, and that Aric was the one who that was deemed the instigator of the whole thing. I guess. That's all we'll ever know. That's fine with me. Almirola's punishment is anticipated to be lifted soon enough, and he will return to action on July 20th in the Xfinity race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Wallace was questioned about his alleged fight with Almirola before to the Nashville Cup Series race. They don't want me to get into details. Keep some people's images positive, Wallace told Fox's Bob Pockrass. I think I said enough at Charlotte last year. So, all in all, life is good for me. That shit happened over a month ago. A lot of good has come my way, and that's what I'm focused on. What are your thoughts on all the rivalries going on within NASCAR? Are you a fan of the big fights happening on the track right now? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.